Good evening, everyone. Welcome to my channel. Today I want us to discuss about water and moisture management on your farms because we are experiencing a drought. Currently, it's now 4 p.m. and the temperatures are still very high. This afternoon from 2 p.m., 3 p.m., it was hitting 27, 28 degrees Celsius. And now it's 4 p.m. While it's supposed to be cooler, it is still at 27, 26, 27, 26 degrees Celsius. So if you look around my area, you see how dry it is. The ground is parched. There's a lot of dust. The grass is dead, completely dead. The small shrubs that are surviving, those are thorny acacia shrubs. I'm going to show you my farm and how I'm managing water and moisture management so that I have a crop. Meanwhile, I'll also give you an update on how the area is doing, generally how bad the situation is. Hello everyone, it's evening. It's now 6 p.m., a few minutes to 6 p.m. So this second part of the video is recorded approximately close to 3 hours or 2 hours after the previous one. It's cooler. It's now around 25 degrees Celsius, but more so it's a bit overcast, and more so the shade of my perimeter wall currently covers half of the farm. So every evening after 5:30 I get into the farm to water. I waited for it to be cooler so that my plants have water throughout the night and early morning before the direct sun gets out at 9-10. So I want to show you a few things. So as you can see, the effects of drought, you can see there are there's the maize which is very strong like this, and then there are those which have wilted. Here, as you can see here, the wilted maize. Yesterday it was watered in the evening, I watered in the evening, but because during the day we are hitting temperatures as high as 27, 28 degrees Celsius at midday, and the humidity is below 30%. Humidity is below 30%. What we are seeing is very high rate of evaporation, and the maize are wilting. But at the base of my maize, it's still wet. You can see the old mulch. Let me show you. Old mulch, it's wet from the water I gave yesterday. But somehow, because it's too hot, the rate of absorption from the ground is lower compared to the rate of evaporation from the leaves. This is the base of one of the wilted maize, and you can see my soil is wet. This is red soil. And so one of the water and moisture management method I use on my farm is on mulching. You can see the mulch applied in October when I planted the maize is still there. There is also manure. Manure from animals has waste, fodder waste. So it's another tool which retains water in the moisture in the soil. So you can see my soil is moist. That there is no doubt that in as much as it hasn't rained and there's a drought currently in Kenya because from the failed October-December rains, my soil is moist. Remember, my zone is Ruiru East, and you can see that. So I cover up. I usually pile back the soil like this at the base. So That is one of the methods I wanted to tell you about, how to manage water and moisture on your farm is through mulching. Number two, the use of animal manure, because animal manure, as compared to chemical fertilizers, has either animal manure or the compost. You create your own compost from, let me leave this alone. You use compost, has waste from the kitchen waste, has plant waste with plenty of fiber, which stores, helps the soil to retain moisture. Number two, the second method is water harvesting. I do not have a big tank currently for my farm, but I use drums. I retain water. I harvest water when there's water in the taps, and then I cover my drums. For example, this one has its own cover. This I usually put a paper on top to reduce. Leave the mango alone, ma'am. I use paper to prevent evaporation, especially during the day where the temperatures are very high, the rate of evaporation is high. This is algae from the hose pipe. So that is one of the method. Another way is having a dam. If you're able to construct your own dam on the farm to store water with a dam liner or tanks. Number two is spot irrigation. Either you can use drip lines, or you can do as I do, you pour water at the base of the crop, like this, directly at the base, rather than use overhead sprinklers. It gives water directly to the crop while preserving water for you, so you do not end up using too much water, because the direct application of water preserves water for you. A direct application of water to the crop at the base using either drip line or spot irrigation saves water for you. And the results are evident that despite the harsh cloud, despite the harsh climate, my maize are flowering. My maize have started flowering. They were planted around 10th October. My beans have pods. My beans have very big pods and they are growing rapidly. So despite the wilting, you can see the leaves are wilting during the day because of the strong sun, but still I have flowers. My maize are flowering and my beans have pods. Method number three is putting a shade. This is a shade net. I have done only one layer. I have not done two layers. This shade net is almost 1 year old, and it helps reduce the direct sunlight on the crops, especially very sensitive crops like vegetables. Here I have spinach and kale. The kale were transplanted exactly 2 weeks ago, and so I did not water yesterday. But if I water right now, by evening 7 p.m. 8 p.m. they will have revived. So thanks to the shade net, we are able to have our regular vegetables, the Swiss chard, the collard greens, because of the shade net. They still also have mulch, because red soil tends to lose water easily. So I always apply mulch, and because I want them to enjoy any sunlight, because of photosynthesis, I do one layer. But in case the temperatures persist to more than 27-28 degrees Celsius to maybe 30 and above, I will add another layer on top. These ones will also be shaded very soon. as we prepare for January and February, the dry season. So the assumption is if right now it's dry and it is supposed to be the rainy season, then we need to prepare ourselves for January. So those are the two methods I use to take care of my vegetables. They have mulch, they have animal manure, and they are watered. And then they are watered every evening past 6 when the temperatures dip, to reduce evaporation so that the plants have time to uptake the nutrients and water throughout the night and early morning. Then I water and I do spot checking at my farm. So far I haven't done any drip irrigation because of the size and the amount required, but it is more cost effective for me to do spot watering. That is watering water at the base of the plant rather than doing overhead irrigation. In a minute. So the fourth method of water management, water and moisture management on your farm is using ground cover crops. So as you can see, we talked of mulch. The third method, we talked about mulching. So under my fruit trees, I always dump kitchen waste. If we eat sugar cane, any waste from the kitchen, I dump. So as a result, from the kitchen waste, we have eggshells, we have pawpaw growing, we have even pumpkin. So I let the pumpkin grow. I let the beans, in case there is a pigeon peas or any type of bean growing under the tree, I let, because they are nitrogen fixing. So as I water the tree, I also water my pumpkin. It's the dry season and I have a pumpkin thriving and it has flowers. These are two of them. These two, I will not eat the leaves. I will let them grow and cover all this, the whole area. And so I will just religiously, as I water the tree, the crop is also watered. So this covers the ground and it reduces the rate of evaporation, protects the soil from rapid evaporation. There it is. It's flowering. It's the dry season. The mango is doing well, and it has manure. You can see a lot of sugarcane wastes, pumpkins growing, and thriving pumpkins. The mango is doing well. The pixie orange is also doing well. It has oranges this year. This is the first time it has flowered and produced fruits. So many flowers dropped, but many more survived. So giving manure, protecting from aphids, and giving it water and a mixture of manure. Then at the base, as you can see, it's still moist from yesterday because there's the ground cover. There are ground cover crops, and there's a lot of moisture. Those are white flies which need to be sprayed. Strategy 5, which covers all those principles, is permaculture method, where we intercrop various types of plants on the farm. You have tall trees, you have medium level shrubs and plants, perennials and annuals. Then you have ground cover crops from as you can see here, bananas, which some grow tall and short with their permanent leaves, which do not dry fast, provide shade. The sugar cane, my wall, my mangoes, my pawpaw, my mangoes, my avocado, my oranges, and the trees outside the perimeter wall and inside the perimeter wall of the compound are 3 years old, exactly 3 years old, planted in November 2022. So they provide shade early morning, and from the western side, shade in the late evening, and that's why I'm able to water in the evening 4-5 under the shade. That shade also helps the plants or the land reduce evaporation. So with time, as the trees will grow, we shall prune them. I shall prune them, but effectively they'll provide me with shade. They will break wind. Number 2 is my sweet potatoes, plenty of them, and more beds are coming up. This bed also has some trees coming up. That wall will have more fruit trees, all to provide shade at different times of the day to the farm. There is a pawpaw there, and pumpkin. There's a pumpkin that end and another the other end, which is let to spread around the farm and cover the ground, and that's why that pawpaw, which is 1 year old, is already fruiting. So the principles of permaculture encourage intercropping, mixing your trees, your perennials, your annuals, mixing different types of trees for shade, for fruits at different heights of plants, from tall trees to medium size shrubs and to ground cover crops. And all these methods at the end of the day help your farm to retain moisture, and at the end of the day you end up with a crop or a harvest even during a dry period. This is a cassava which was planted last month, doing well. Another cassava, this tree. So early morning, the shade of those trees outside my wall and on this side cover half of the farm, and in the evening the other wall and the trees cover half of the farm. So the only sunlight currently we are fighting is the midday and high noon sun, but otherwise despite the dry season, our maize has started flowering, and our beans have seed pods. Our mangoes have trees. Our oranges have fruits. Our mango trees have fruits. Adopting the principles of permaculture, you allow the leaves of your trees to fall down and cover. So on Monday, using a djembe, I piled up soil at the base of my crops planted in rows, and I swept all the mulch, the leaves, the fallen down leaves, banana leaves, pawpaw leaves, all of them, sugarcane leaves, at the base of my crops. Just sweeping. Hi, Mom. Just sweeping with a djembe. And at the end of the day, I have applied the principles of permaculture to my farm, and it's dry, but we have food. This is a bed of with cassava and sweet potatoes planted last month. All the leaves from the banana when I prune, and mulch of grass or anything to cover. Banana planted last month has picked and it's growing very fast because of mulching and manure. Then has its pumpkins, which is another ground cover crop. Under the banana, more mulch, all the dry leaves piled from the sugarcane, the bananas, to maintain the moisture. So, my people, that is how we manage water and moisture on the farm, applying the principles of permaculture. Good morning, everyone. It's the following day in the morning after watering in the evening at 6. And as you can see, it's 6 a.m. and the sun is already out and shining. It is very warm, such that I cannot wear my bathrobe. And the maize are thriving. Every maize which had wilted, which looked wilted yesterday evening, is thriving. The leaves are green, springy. The leaves are green and springy after watering and after having water. You see the action of the ants as they break down the dry sugarcane waste. The leaves are thriving. This line was completely wilted, and in the morning you can see it is fresh leaves, green and flowering, and springy leaves. The beans are also doing well. There's a lot of bee activity. There are a lot of bees on the farm. So usually every evening, if you come to the farm in the evening from 8 p.m., 9 p.m., the plants have revived. This goes all the way to the morning. This whole line usually has very, very, very wilted leaves during the day from the harsh sun. But as you can see, they are thriving and blooming. They have started flowering. This one already has the leaves which carry the flower. As you can see, there's a little flower, but during the day it looks wilted. So method number 6, which is associated with the permaculture method, is no tilling. So this is to my Africans, my Kenyans, during the dry season, or during when you have a failed rainy season like we have currently in October, December 2025, do not till your land once you have planted and the rains fail. Do not till, because tilling, when you till or digging, or what we call here digging, kuchimba shamba, you turn the soil and you expose the lower 5 inches of soil to the exposed air and the sun and the elements, so your land dries up. So we did not till. What we did is, in case these weeds growing, we uproot. As I water, I go uprooting weeds, any growing, and then I swept. I heaped back the soil under the base of the plants. I pulled back any waste leaves or any dry leaves and mulch on the farm towards the base of the plants. As you can see, I pulled back all the kitchen waste, because I throw my kitchen waste on the farm. Last week, Monday, or actually it's this week, early this week on Monday, I came and I heaped back the soil under the base of the plants, the maize, the beans. And in the process, I also pulled back all the dry leaves. Like, these are the dry leaves of sugarcane, the old maize stalks from the previous season. So that way they act as a mulch, and also without the tilling, we do not lose moisture. So for example, this is a weed growing at the base of the maize. You pull it out nicely together with its roots. That is how we weed. You do not dig. And so with the no tilling, pulling out weeds, mulching, using compost, using manure, spot irrigation or drip irrigation, and using and storing water or preserving your water, that is one way. Those are the many ways in which we are able to have a crop on this small piece of land, an eighth, during this dry season. Our place, our area, I told you it's Ruiru East, and it has refused to rain. It hasn't rained for more than a month, and the last rain was not more than 2 inches. So that is why we already have beans with pods. There's plenty of fruits, mangoes. The bananas are thriving. The sugarcane is soft, and the maize are flowering. Our rosemary, everything, the herbs are doing well. The rosemary, the lemongrass. It's because of those methods. Because as we say right now, it's a drought in Kenya. Already the government has given drought warning to several counties. So this is how we are doing it. Those are the methods we are using. I use on my farm. You can see all the dry leaves. I cut down, I prune, we cut down. Once they dry, they will be used somewhere else on the farm to mulch. As you can see here, the arrowroots, when I prune the bananas, the arrowroot leaves, the arrowroots are covered with the cut up leaves, and they're given more water. So the young bananas have all the leaves from the sugarcane. So that's how you manage a farm during the dry period. Thank you. Welcome to my channel. Have a lovely day.